Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Big Ben's Movie Show. Again, it's another year, so it's another Star Wars movie. This time it's Rogue One. My guest for this week, this is cool, from the 501st Central California Garrison, this is TB9664, otherwise known as Mike Gomez.
How's it going?
How you
doing, Ben?
Hey.
How's everybody?
That is awesome. I love that we have this.
Thank you.
All right.
Good to be here.
All right. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Rogue One, but before we can talk about it, we have to look at the trailer for those of you that haven't seen it to get an idea of what we're going to be talking about. So let's take a look at the clip. It's been rolling for a minute.
Jin, whatever I do it to protect you. So you understand?
I understand.
You want to get out of here?
Our rebellion is all that remains to push back the Empire. We think you might be able to help us.
When was the last time you were in contact with your father?
What is this? It appears he is critical to the development of a super weapon.
If my father built this thing, we need to find him.
All right. How many do I need?
They are requesting a call sign.
It's, Rogue One.
The power that we are dealing with here is immeasurable.
If the Empire has this kind of power, what chance do we have?
We have hope. Rebellions are built on hope. They've no idea we're coming.
Take hold of this moment. The Force is strong. Make 10 men feel like 100.
We'll take the next chance. And the next. You're rebels, aren't you?
Save the rebellion! Save the dream!
All right. So there was the clip from Rogue One. Amazing movie, amazing trailer. And now we've both seen it. Now, you've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice, yes.
Okay. I saw it opening night. This to me like changes the game of Star Wars movies, and it really does, because it's the first Star Wars movie, like in the main canon, if you don't count the little Ewok.
This is the first non-episode Star Wars.
Non-episode Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not a part of the Skywalker saga.
Not a part of the saga. Yeah,
No,
none of the Vader saga. Nothing. It's its own standalone movie.
Even though Vader is in it.
And what I like too is they did a little fake out too. So if you haven't seen it, avert your ears or whatever. But
it's a week later. You should have seen it by now.
Yeah, I mean, come on, what's with you people?
Yeah.
They do the like Lucasfilm lead in, and then the Galaxy Far, Far Away, and then it just starts.
It just
There's
starts.
no crawl, no
trailer,
episode,
no crawl,
3.5 or 3.9, however you're counting.
And now some people were miffed about that. They were like, "Where was the crawl? Where was the?" And,
Yeah.
And it wasn't there. But I kind of knew that it might not be there.
I had heard too that it might not be in, and I had a little mixed feelings for it, but with this movie I thought it fit well. I thought it was like
Exactly.
it's not an episode, it's like in between.
Plus, it keeps that crawl thing for the episode.
For the saga.
It makes it more special, so that it's
Yeah.
not just.
And
this is what we do for
and
everything.
whoever misses the crawl, you'll see it next December in episode 8. So there you go.
Then they also changed the music a little bit.
Yeah.
This is something that I actually saw it with one of the producers of the show, Skylar, and that drove him nuts. that they changed the.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot. Didn't have the big Star Wars score at the beginning.
They'd have like the first half of the music, and then they would change the second half.
And it was a little bit subtle in some points, and other points it was right in your face. But I did enjoy like when they showed Vader, they had the Imperial March lead in. It was kind of the.
Yeah, I absolutely love the movie. It's. And more than anything for me it was about the ending. So the movie itself, I was like, okay, this is good. I like this. And then we got to the ending, and it's probably one of the best endings of any Star Wars movie.
Oh man, there's parts where it kind of lags a little bit, but by the time you get to that ending, when they get to Scarif, it's on.
It's nonstop awesome.
It just ramps up. As it goes on, that ending goes on. It just the action gets better, the emotions get more intense. It just until the very end, that culmination. I mean, it's just it's people are like breathless at the end of that movie.
Exactly. Now, interesting thing too was there's two characters in the movie that are either they weren't complete CGI. There was somebody standing there, but their faces and the voice performances are all done separately.
Yeah.
And they had to do that because one of them is dead.
Yeah, one of them is no longer with us, and hasn't been with us in quite a long time.
No, you mentioned 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's over 10 years.
Oh wow.
So.
And then of course the other character is now. Older, chubbier, and has had some Botox and can't make expressions.
Right, exactly. And
I
don't think she could concentrate to do that same emotion that the CGI character gave.
Yeah, but that moment, by the way, was the biggest freak out in the whole theater.
Which
is weird because we all knew it was coming.
I didn't know. I wasn't sure if they were going to do that, but I kind of suspected the first one. Without giving away. I kind of suspected the first one, and I was like so happy to see him in the movie. But the other one, I was just like, that was a bit of a surprise for me, and I was right on board with that. I thought that was awesome.
No, it's there's this movie. This movie does the job that Force Awakens didn't quite do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Force Awakens. I was on board. I know a lot of people that were really just kind of. I mean, they didn't really. It's not like they disliked the movie. They were just disappointed with it.
Yeah.
It didn't like live up to the hype that they wanted it to, and they thought like, oh, here we go with another prequel trilogy.
Exactly.
And this one, I've had people tell me, just like revitalize their love for Star Wars, that it ignited their passion again.
Absolutely.
And I think that's amazing. That's awesome.
And that's really what you would hope for with a movie like this is that that an entire new generation of fans, like my daughter who's liked the Star Wars movies but has never really bought into it. Mm-hmm. But this movie, I watched her geek out probably for the first time when watching a movie. It was a really, as a Star Wars dad, it was a really cool experience.
That's awesome.
So yeah. All right, so that's enough talking about Rogue One. That's always, of course, a great movie. The other thing that people talk about, though, because of Star Wars and how long it's been around and the changes that have been made to it, are the things that make people angry. These are the things that make the Star Wars nerds just filled with nerd rage. So we're going to talk about a couple of these. We have 5. So the first one I'm going to talk about, changing the Darth Vader ghost at the end of Jedi. Originally, it was the man who was
Sebastian Shaw, who played the face of Vader, Vader face, I guess.
The Vader face when they take the helmet off and
so at the end it was Sebastian Shaw, Yoda,
and then they changed it to Hayden Christensen, the Anakin Skywalker from the prequels.
So I kind of I like. When I saw the change, it didn't affect me as much as some other people. Yeah. And I think the reasoning was, I kind of got where they were going with that. Yeah. Like right off the bat, like when he was a young man when he quit becoming Anakin and turned into Vader. Yeah. And so when he redeemed himself, of course, later on he comes back as a younger Anakin.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually for a second I thought it was kind of cool for a second. Yeah. Just that they can even change people out like that. Now later on I did think it's a bit of a disappointment that they're not maintaining the original. I mean, that guy had that part and did that part, and Anakin got 2 whole movies to go be Anakin.
I mean, he was a pretty solid actor too.
And I'm not a huge fan of Hayden Christensen.
Well, no, I meant Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw was quite good. He didn't ever do weird vocal things, and I slaughtered them like animals.
Yeah. Yeah, I did like the improvement they made when he did take the helmet off and his eyebrows were gone. That was, you know, like
that was cool.
You don't grow those back after falling in lava.
No.
Come on.
Okay, next one up, and this is one of the ones that made people so angry about the prequels when they first came out. It's Jar Jar.
Oh man,
Misa hates Jar Jar very much.
You hate him. You're a Jar Jar hater.
I've never liked Jar Jar.
You know what? I dig him. I like him.
Really?
I do. I do, man. I don't mind him so much. You know, I get while he's in it too. Like, you know, he's you know, this isn't just your Star Wars movie. This is you know, everyone, and he's in it for the kids. I mean, you know, and I've seen it firsthand too. Like, you know, being in If I Go First and dressing up in costume and stuff like that. You know, of course, we get a lot of people that are excited to see us, see the stormtroopers and whatnot. But I had a friend of mine who used to do this kind of, you know, amalgamation of Jar Jar, where he had the Jar Jar mask, but he was like a, you know, a Dark Lord, like a Sith.
Nice.
And kids would lose their mind. They love Jar Jar. I mean, little kids just, they totally identify with that goofball and they love him. And so, in that aspect alone, I'm like, all right, Jar Jar's pretty cool.
And it makes sense. And I do get that it isn't just about what I want as a fan. It's about, I mean, at the end of the day, I was a kid when I fell in love with these movies. It makes sense that they're still doing things for kids. I mean, even Rogue One had the droid. I'm blanking on his name now.
K2.
K2.
Yeah.
And he had, you know, lots of funny little lines.
Yeah, he had some pretty good little quips.
And I got to say, of all the spoiler share, of all the death scenes, that was the one that hit me the most.
That was pretty tough to watch, man. I mean, he kind of went out in a blaze of glory and, you know, really saved the day, so to speak, as far as helping out Jin and.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you know, let's not get overboard here. You know, with the love of Jar Jar, he is pretty over the top.
He is ridiculous.
They could have dialed him back a few, but I get while he's in it, and I appreciate that, and so yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm okay with it.
Next one up, Han Solo. Whether or not he shoots first in the original theatrical version of the movies, when Sean is greeted by Greedo at the table, Han shoots him, and that's it. That's all that happens. He shoots him just because he got to the draw quicker. And kills the guy and leaves. In the re-edited versions, we've now seen that they have, in a split second, you can see that Greedo fires first and Han retaliates.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this was done to make Han seem like less of a
cold-blooded killer and whatnot. Yeah.
Really less of a badass. But that's what we wanted, was a badass.
Right.
So and this is, for me, as a kid, like you, I wanted to be Luke.
Yeah.
And then when I hit like 10 and started puberty and stuff, then I wanted to be Han.
Yeah, you wanted to be the edgier character.
Exactly,
you wanted to be Han, you know? And Han didn't, you know, I mean, Han shot first. Yeah. You know, that guy was there to kill him, so he killed him first. Fair game, you know? I mean, that's he paid for the mess, you know? Come on. Exactly. You know?
That's one of the changes that I really wish they would put back. And it doesn't seem to add anything. Most people don't even notice.
I don't think it does either. I think, you know, I agree. I think they should roll that one back and just make Han shoot first.
It doesn't Han will always shoot first. It does more negative than it ever does positive.
It just detracts from it. Yeah.
Yeah. So next one up, this is one that actually I also am pretty pissed about. This is from Return of the Jedi with the new edits. In the original, Darth Vader doesn't say anything when he goes to kill the Emperor while he's trying to kill Luke Skywalker. But in the new edit, he screams something very loudly. Let's see if you can catch it. Here's a quick video from Return of the Jedi. Okay, so that was Darth Vader screaming no as he threw the Emperor over the balcony. It wasn't necessary. Again, it's one of these. It was understood before when he glanced back and forth between them that he was feeling mixed emotions about being evil.
Yeah, you could just tell. I mean, the with just like you said, just him glancing back and forth. I mean, the helmet's not that expressive, but in that moment, you knew. I mean, when I was a kid, I knew. Yeah. Vader's having second thoughts. You know, I mean, he's seeing his boy being killed in front of him, and he's, that's not going to happen. So yeah, just adding the. I mean, even if they just dialed it back a little bit and just the first no, and not the no, I think that's got to go. So yeah,
gotta go.
That wasn't that. Yeah, that. I mean, one no would have been fine, and then he just throws him. Yeah, I'd have been happy with that.
That would have been that would have been an okay change. I probably would have lived with that too. All right, last one on the list, and this is one that I'm a little passionate about. If you've watched the show. You've heard me talk about this. The little bitch kid from Phantom Menace. I really don't like that kid.
Man.
He was also in Jingle All the Way and a couple other things. But to me, this kid is easily the worst thing of the entire Star Wars films, all of them. And he completely ruined the prequels for me, and especially ruined Phantom Menace. And here it is, a combination of things. One, the lines they wrote for him were really hard.
They weren't very wizard.
No, they weren't. Oh gosh. And then two, this kid is a bad actor.
Yeah, he was. Now,
and I understand that he got older and has fallen on hard times. I believe he's in a mental institution now.
He's in an asylum now. Yeah, unfortunately.
You deserve it. You deserve every second of it.
All right.
You deserve worse. I don't know.
I think you're ready for the Sith Academy here.
I don't. I know
it's into your anger.
I know he's just like a kid, and it's not totally his fault that he other people cast him and everything. But you ruined it.
I don't know. He did have a pretty cool pickup line,
What? Questo Chesto Sebulba?
No, are you an angel?
Oh my God!
Come on, man. That little kid he pulled in she was 13 and he was 9.
He didn't get a number or nothing.
Come on, no. But she was thinking about him.
No. That kid. Just ruins everything. So those are the controversial bits of Star Wars. But now we let them lie as we show our love for Rogue One, but they are always just there right under the surface, just making us crazy. All right, now it's time closing up the show. Here we go for Suck Not Suck. So here we go. Donald Glover has implied in interviews now that Lando, who's that's who he's playing in the Han Solo movie, won't be cool yet. That he's still learning to be cool.
I think that's gonna suck. I honestly, who wants to see Lando in an awkward period?
Seriously,
just have him have the swagger and the coolness right off the gate.
Like he's working on his rat stash.
Yeah, man. I picture Lando as probably one of those kids in high school that had the mustache going in, before everyone else, and thought it was oh yeah, this is cool.
Well, you want him to be. I would, in my mind, Billy D. Williams has been Billy D. Williams. Since the womb. Yeah. Like he came out of the womb going, "Hello, doctor."
Exactly, right? Lando wishes he could be Billy D. Williams. Yes. That's how Billy D. Williams he is. Exactly. So I think that's gonna suck. I think you gotta have Lando start off just coolness.
Exactly. So we both agree that kind of sucks a little bit.
I agree with that.
Number 2, this is a new one that just came out this week. Jyn from Rogue One. Might be able to appear in other Star Wars movies. She actually the actress has this in her contract that she could actually appear as Jyn in another Star Wars movie. The first thought off everybody's mind is that would have to be the Han Solo movie. Yeah. Because, spoiler alert a little bit, she dies. Yeah. She dies in Rogue One. In Rogue One, almost everybody dies. Right. As they should. That's part of what makes it awesome. So this would be her showing up, I guess, as a...
I guess it's those years between when Saw Gerrera finds her and then when you get the introduction of her in the cell. Yeah. Like how she got there. So maybe she's part of whatever the premise of Lando and Han's adventures is going to be.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe part of some teen smuggler.
I don't know. Would she be played by the Felicity Day though?
That's part of the thing is that she would have to be played by her.
Yeah. So I don't know. Because she'd be a little bit younger.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. It's but I'm not.
The character did resonate with a lot of people, so I could see him bringing him back.
I'm not a big fan of that idea, though, so I'm going to say suck on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to say suck too. I think she did her one act. She's done.
She's done.
Don't cheapen it by just trying to fill her in, other movies.
Exactly. Now, not to say that I'm seeing that the Han Solo movie is going to suck. I am so on board for that.
Yeah.
And I want to see that 20 times at least. So yeah. But the idea of bringing her into it, not a great idea.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they need to tie in that movie with the Rogue One movie. I think it's, they're all in Star Wars land. You're already tying it in with the saga a little bit, because it's about Han Solo.
Exactly.
So yeah, don't overkill it. Don't Lucas it up a little, with the special editions.
Don't Lucas it up. I love that's a verb now for the rest of time. If you mess with it too much, you've Lucased it up.
You've Lucased it up, you know.
So, all right, next up, moving on to episode 8. Adam Driver has come out and said in interviews that he would think it was really great if there were no trailers for episode 8. Taking an example from Beyonce dropping Lemonade earlier this year, he wants episode 8 to just show up one day, and nobody knows.
Wow.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so too. I think if he was if he was funding the whole thing himself, then sure,
maybe.
yeah,
no.
But the studio's got to make money.
Their money back.
They need butts and seats. So the only way to do that is to get the word out. So
exactly. I mean, when Force Awakens came out, it had more pre-sold tickets than any other movie in history.
Yeah. So, yeah. People were going crazy over that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, if they, for some odd reason, they said, yeah, and the studio was like, okay, we're going to do that, I would think that would suck. Yeah. Honestly, because, part of the fun is seeing the teaser and the trailers. And, sometimes it's a little misleading, like Rogue One. There's a lot of stuff that are in these trailers that are not in the movie.
End up in the movie, yeah.
And it's kind of a little bit of a fake out.
Including the great line, this is a rebellion, well, I rebel.
I rebel, yeah. So
one of the best lines of the trailer.
Yeah, didn't make it.
Didn't make it into the movie.
So
a lot this year, too.
Suicide Squad they could put out some trailers that are like, kind of red herrings.
There you go.
Then he kind of wins, and the people that don't want to be spoiled win, too.
There you go. So, all right. Next up to number 4 here. So here's kind of an interesting thing. In England, when you make a movie, you have to file paperwork with the government to let them know what the movie's about and what the title is. They're shooting parts of episode 8 in the UK, specifically, I believe, in Scotland. Mm-hmm. That's where that island is that you see at the end of episode 7. And what they did is they filed paperwork for the shoot of the movie, and on that paperwork is the subtitle of the movie. Now, this might be fake because years ago we were all teased with the original title of Return of the Jedi was Blue Harvest.
Blue Harvest, yeah.
So now this might be fake, but it kind of sounds similar to Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It's the Forces of Destiny.
Forces of Destiny.
Which, seems inside the realm of what a Star Wars title could be.
I agree. I think, it does fit in the realm, and it's definitely not the worst of the titles that have actually come out,
Better than Attack of the Clones,
better than Attack of the Clones, yeah. So, if that's it, cool,
and if
I'm on board.
If this is becoming a thing and all 3 of these are going to have the word Force in the title so that we can then call these the Force Trilogy.
The Force Trilogy.
Which would be fine. I'd be totally okay with that.
I'd be down with the Force Trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah, I think that's not gonna. If that's the title, I think that's not gonna suck.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good too. All right, last one, episode 9. Right now, it's still being written, which is kind of amazing. The ending still hasn't been decided on, which is kind of an epic thing when you think about it, because that means this trilogy is still up in the air in terms of how it's going to end.
Still open-ended. Like it could go, in a completely different direction than people are thinking.
Which is just nuts. And it's being written by the guy who directed episode 8, Rian Johnson, is working with Lawrence Kasdan, and then also working with the director Colin Trevorrow from Jurassic World, who's doing episode 9. So the ending is up in the air, but it has been confirmed Luke Skywalker will be in episode 9, which is a little bit of a spoiler because now we know he doesn't die in episode 8.
Yeah,
although he might show up as a Force ghost.
I would think that he wouldn't die in the next one. I think we want to see Luke, just how badass he is.
I agree. Yeah. And then the other thing that's kind of cool, Colin Trevorrow let this out of the bag. He wants to shoot parts of the movie in space, like actual space. So instead of just doing stuff on a soundstage or anything like that, it sounds like he might put astronauts in some kind of vessel and shoot them in outer space. Just shoot stuff.
I don't know any actor that would sign up for that. That, you know, like their agent would be like crazy right now. Yeah, to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, maybe some of the
them.
young kids.
Maybe the young ones, yeah.
They're adventurous.
They're like, yeah, we could, you know.
Yeah.
They're expendable. You know. Where's Jake Lloyd? Send him into space. You know?
I would volunteer to let that happen. Please make that happen.
That'd be pretty wizard.
Wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate that movie. That damn kid. All right, so that's the end of the show. We've already done the whole show.
We did the whole show. That went by really fast.
That went so fast.
That went by quick, man.
Actually, before we go to the ending of the show parts, do you want to take off your helmet? Let everybody see what you look like?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
There we go. The big reveal.
The big reveal.
All right.
So that's Mike. That's TB. That's Mike.
How's it going?
All right, so that's been the show. If you have questions about the show, issues with the show, or if, like Mike, you'd like to be a guest host, you can shoot us an email. The email here is bigbms or bigbms at zoho.com. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If you like me and want to catch more of what I have to say and do, I've got 2 podcasts. Both are on the Geek Wars Network. Geek Wars Podcast Network. Just search Geek Wars in any podcast search thing you want, and I should show up there. The logo looks like the Star Wars logo. So that's how you find me. Mike, anything you want to plug? Any appearances? Or?
Yeah, so if you're interested in the 501st Central Cal Garrison, you want to dress up like a stormtrooper or whatnot, just go to 501st.com. There we have costume standards, so whatever you're thinking of building, whether it's a stormtrooper, Vader, biker scout, we know how to get you started.
And you guys build all these yourselves?
Yeah, this is all built by ourselves. They basically come to us as a kit, and we put them together and make them look screen accurate.
And this whole thing is just this big labor of love that you want to be able to do this.
It's just a passion of of Star Wars.
Because I mean, you don't get paid to do this, do you?
No, it's all volunteer.
Volunteer.
It's all basically giving back. Our main focus is grounded in charity and doing work for others in the community. And in fact, I'm actually doing a hospital visit this Wednesday at Enloe.
That's amazing.
Visit some kids before Christmas and drop off some presents for them.
Oh my gosh.
So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's I do nothing good with my life. All right, next week on the show, my host will be Jerome Gilbert. We're going to be talking about a couple of movies coming out this week, actually. Passengers and Assassin's Creed. And hopefully I get to see it because it's not playing at the local theater.
Yeah,
so,
what the hell, Chico?
Yeah, get your stuff together. So, all right, thanks for watching the show. May the Force be with you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Pew, 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 pew.
No.
So I'll say, okay, I'm doing the show this week. My guest host from the 501st Central California Garrison, TB9664, otherwise known as Mike Gomez.
Yep. I'll say, hey, Ben.
That's awesome. Can you guys hear him even with the helmet on?
I just flew in from a galaxy far, far away, and boy, are my arms tired. Fun.
Okay.
His name was Windu, and he went out a window. Come on. These are the jokes, people.
There's some hardcore Star Wars jokes then.
I stole that from this show they were going to do called Detours that got canceled. Yeah, before it even started.
Okay. We good to go?